Alrighty, guys, we're back for Mono White Aggro, and this is an Edge of Eternities Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We have all four Lumen-Class Frigate. It's a 2-mana artifact spacecraft, so it has station. Tap another creature you control, put charge counters on the spacecraft equal to its power. Station only as a sorcery. It's an artifact creature at 12+, so it will have flying, lifelink, and it's a 3/5. Okay, but at only 2+, other creatures you control get +1/+1, which actually seems pretty darn good, especially in a deck list that knows how to go wide, which we're going to try to do. We got all four Resolute Reinforcements in here, for example. We also got another new one. Cosmogrand Zenith is a 3-mana 2/4. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you get to choose one of these. You can create two 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, or you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Actually seems pretty good, huh? Now, I only have 2 of them, but if I had more, I'd probably try more out in this deck list. So we also have more new ones to go over. Sunstar Chaplain here is a 2-mana 3/2. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. For 2 mana, you can remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control, tap target artifact or creature. Cool. Yeah, taking like a really important lifelink blocker out of the equation or something. I think that bottom ability will come in handy more often than you would think. So of course, we're going to have plenty of tapped creatures, even if we're not swinging in for the turn, if we're like powering up the Lumen class, for example. So Reluctant Role Model and Veteran Survivor, both of their survival abilities should really come in handy. Again, even if we're not swinging, easy enough to tap down to a spacecraft, but also easy enough to tap down to something like Warden of the Inner Sky as well. So I'm not going to take the time to go over all these cards. We've played with them plenty in the past, and they've been around for a little while too, huh? One card I will go over is a underplayed card, in my opinion. Zack Fair has been so good for me. 1 white mana, 0/1. Zack enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. You can pay 1, sack Zack. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Then you put Zack's counters on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zack to that creature. So we don't have any equipment in here, but we have plenty of ways to put +1/+1 counters on Zack. So yeah, really cool. Now, Requisition Raid should be pretty good. Again, because we're going wide, so we have that option to just put +1/+1 counters on things, but then also there are so many deck lists where there's an artifact and or enchantment that you would not mind popping, and Pinnacle Star Cage is going to be an absolute menace for this deck list, just like Temporary Lockdown would have been as well. So yeah, a couple Requisition Raids should be pretty good. You have some removal in here with all 4 Glass Caskets, opting for a Glass Casket because it hits pretty much everything we want it to hit early on, but then you can also tap it since it's an artifact to the Warden ability, which should be pretty good. We also have a couple Unidentified Hoverships for even more removal. Just a couple of them though. It is a little top heavy in this deck list, funny enough. Even though we do have 24 mana, we are rocking the 24 mana because there's going to be plenty of turn 4s where we desperately want our 4th land, so we can play 2 of our 2-drops on the same turn. We also have a couple Starfield Shepherds here on the top end. 5 mana, 3/2 flying, but it has a warp cost for 1 and a white. So in this deck list, we could probably do some rearranging, right? So when this creature enters, search your library for a basic plains card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So it's pretty neat that if we only had 3rd mana on our 4th turn and we had our 3rd turn be a Zenith, for example, we could still Shepherd with the warp cost, grab like a Warden of the Inner Sky from the deck list, play the Warden, grab some tokens off the Zenith because that's the 2nd spell we cast, and then tap down for the Warden's ability. That's pretty cool, right? Now, over in that mana base, we do have a Windswept Bastion. Not going to take the time to go over it, and we also have a Fountainport here for more utility. 22 planes. Now, in the honorable mentions, Reroute Systems could have been a cool one to try out. Case of the Gateway Express, Sheltered by Ghosts, definitely worth bringing up, and a Johnny, Caller of Pride, is worth bringing up for this one too, I would say. Alright guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I'm expecting a little bit here. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think we can deal with a lot of different things nicely. This is not making the case for 24 mana. We'll give it a shot, huh? As long as we don't see more mana off the top, this should be okay, because pretty much anything else we draw will be decent. I'm going to opt for more damage with the Veteran Survivor over, like, banking on drawing a 2-drop that gives us 2 things, you know? Yeah, if we already had something in hand ready to go for tapping the Warden on turn 2, then it would have been Warden turn 1. Oh, Resolute Reinforcements. Well, there you go, right? Yeah, so Warden turn 1 would have worked out. But this is a good trade for us. Let's see if they accept that trade. If not, cheesing 2 through is pretty good too. Also, they don't know it's in our hand and we got 2 planes open, so... Alright. Reinforcements for their turn. And Requisition Raid is sorcery speed, so that's not open. Gruul colors with a recruit. I'm scared, guys. I'm terrified. Innkeeper's Talent. Okay. That could be a good one to pop with the Requisition Raid. Now, the counter gets it above the block, so that's pretty good. We go for the swing. Yep, we're not gonna... It might be a good trade, but we're not going to. Another Requisition Raid is pretty good, right? We're going to do that over the Warden. So we're going to destroy enchantment, put +1/+1 counter on our creatures. Definitely want that. And then we want to target us. So our creatures get the +1/+1 counters. Alright, good swing. And grab their Innkeeper's Talent from the grave. That's good, man. Requisition Raid. Criminally underplayed, for real. Ooh, another Innkeeper's Talent. Oh no, guys, the opponent's going to be upset with me. Oh no. This might be some burn for the Survivor. It is. That's pretty good for the opponent. Now our Requisition Raid is definitely much worse for the turn, but I think we can keep up pace really nicely here. So we got more planes. That's not terrific, but still, it's a terrific turn, isn't it? 2 Requisition Raids in here for a reason, huh? Now we go for the swing over the Warden while we have the swing, because they can easily go Paw Patch Recruit for 2 more blockers on the board, and that's when we want to power up the Wardens. Looming Nemesis. Yeah, so Gruul Aggro. Zenith is pretty good, but based on our hand, yeah, this is a game where our top-end warp card, showcasing why it's in here, right? Yeah, Nemesis doesn't let us swing very well. We really just have to focus on getting this Warden in the air. We could wait for another card to play with Zenith, but I'm not going to. I think we just play it, and I think it's totally fine. Leave the token as a blocker here and tap down the rest. Remember, the Warden's ability is sorcery speed, so... Reluctant Role Model. Keep it on top. I think we pretty much keep any creature on top, right? The big thing here is getting Warden into the air so we don't have to deal with the blocking Nemesis. Okay. And again, like, once our hand is empty, Zenith is just kind of just chilling. But that's fine. It'll probably look like this. Yeah, this is a game where Glass Casket would be good too. Reinforcements. Again, we probably keep any creature, I guess. But yeah, Glass Casket would be really good too. Have Vigilance on the Warden as well. They got 5 mana open. Oh, that's really bad news. Okay, that's really bad. let's go ahead and put those counters on the role model, because we can get that into the air this turn then, right? Which we probably should. I'm afraid of another Witchstalker Frenzy. The lifelink could be good too, but getting it into the air and trying to win next turn. A second Witchstalker Frenzy would be just as lucky as us having the 2 Requisition Raids, I would say. We're going to go for the block, just in case they have something incredibly fancy like Double Strike, or worse, Overprotect. I guess we could die this turn, right? Overprotect. Oh, wow. Thank goodness we blocked, huh? They had 13 on the board, guys. Hey, good game, opponent. Yes. Absolutely. That was cool. It was really cool. A Reluctant Role Model really showing off there with the ability to redistribute the +1 counters and everything. And going up against some Gruul aggro. Could have been anyone's game, for real. Yeah. That was a fun one. Alright, let's keep the ball rolling, huh? Honestly, guys, if Requisition Raid continues to show off, we might want more of them. Or if we run into a lot of games today where we run into the Star Cage, I could see 3. I could. Because, yeah, when you're not using it by some... Look at this! Both Requisition Raids. I think the game's trying to tell us something, guys. We'll try it. We'll try it. Yeah, when you're not using the top 2 abilities, the bottom ability to put counters on everything, I mean, that's still pretty good. Also, I will say this, all 4 Glass Caskets for a very good reason. I think those will really come in handy today. Rest in peace from the opponent. Must be running into a lot of issues with Graveyard, right? If they're running that. We don't really need to pop that with the raid by any means. So, role model is fine. This is 2 or more tapped creatures, so I think role model before the Chaplain makes a lot of sense here. Speaking of Pinnacle Star Cage, huh? Yeah, speaking of, I got a feeling. I think I'm going to take the turn for some setup over swings. We're going to get the Chaplain down. You know what? With Requisition Raid in hand, I'm just going to dump it all. And if they got a board wipe, it is what it is. If it's Star Cage, that's great news. If it's another board wipe, okay, we keep any creature on top, right? Okay, bring it on, opponent. Bring it on. Let's go with just extra counters here, and then Chaplain will go on to the Warden. Getting it 1 step closer to the air, too. Uh-oh, 4th mana. Uh-oh. No! It was a Day of Judgment. Okay, I could have played around it. I could have. So, it's on me. It's on me a little bit. I didn't have to dump the hand. So, of all the moments where it could have been a Star Cage, huh? Oh no. Oh, no. Right, we're in danger, huh? Well, thank goodness we had such a good opening game for the video then, leading right into some control, and I have been running into a lot of this Azorius control. Uh-oh, more mana. That's not good. That's not great. I will say this, though. Seeing all this extra mana doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. I'm sticking to it, man. I think this deck list is a 24 mana deck list regardless of aggro. I think if we drop down to 23, we'll never see a Plains again. And I do think that this is one where we desperately want a lot. Okay. Let's do Requisition Raid. We'll pop the Rest in Peace because why not, I guess, because we have mana for it. We'll do this. And then we'll go Lumen-Class. And we'll station. Yeah, even if I would have played around the board wipe, guys, I mean, they still would have dropped a board wipe. They still would have had a 2-for-1, and they still would have had an intense amount of card advantage, right? So, yeah, best case scenario was the only board wipe that they had would have been a Star Cage. I guess getting rid of Rest in Peace does make a little bit of sense because we have the Veteran Survivor in here, which cares about things in the grave. So they do play a Seam Rip here and activate Fountainport on their turn, so that way they can give +1 counters from the Elspeth to the Fishies. That's pretty good. We do find more mana. Not making my case here. Did they have artifacts? You know what? I'm just gonna... No, that's targeting our artifact. That's why. I was gonna say, just gonna activate everything, right? But get the Warden back. I guess at that point, since we're in danger, we don't really need to block on the ground because they just keep sending these 4 tokens into the air, right? They don't have to worry about it. Yeah, even playing around the board wipe, I don't think we were coming out of this one, guys. I really don't. Ooh, they bounce both the Lumen-Class and the Warden. Brutal stuff, huh? We're going to let them play this out. More planes off the top. I think I'm supposed to be surprised. Why? But why do I not feel surprised, guys? Good game, opponent. Good game. Let's see. Was it a flood? Let's see. 7 in the top 15. 24 mana. Yeah. Not really. It wasn't that bad of a flood. This is one where we definitely just needed to have more things to do on the board. Like, for example, having the extra mana to maybe use the bottom ability on the Chaplain could have been decent as well. The opponent's going for it. The opponent has some quests to get done, and we're letting them finish those quests. Darn it. They're completely playing it out. Alright. Yeah. We're going to keep the ball rolling, because I'm feeling pretty good about this deck list. I think there's a lot going on here. I'll do a mid-video pack after the next game, depending. Speaking of mid-video packs, guys, while I have you here, somewhere in the early middle-ish of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Additionally, guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like, and if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you guys. Yeah, with the Zenith, I'm thinking like more card draw could be good, but I'm also thinking based on how many lands we've been getting these first few games that the top end warp card might be good as like a 3 of 2. Yeah, because warping counts as casting. You warp it in, grab a 1-drop, play the 1-drop, put +1/+1 counters on everything, or grab a couple extra tokens. If the 1-drop was a Warden, you tap the tokens. Seems crazy, man. Oh, up against some Yuna. Hired Claw. Up against some Mono Red. More planes. Guys, I'm way too stubborn to drop this to 23 mana. More testing required. More testing. We have a block into the Hired Claw, but they still swing with it because of the extra damage. So, go down to 17 here. Oh no, guys. Alright, well, play the Lumen. I guess we'll tap. We're going to be in danger either way. All for Glass Casket for a very good reason. Come on, game. I believe in you. It doesn't have to be a plains off the top. It doesn't have to be. I believe in the heart of the cards. 3rd mana from the opponent. It's going to be Emberheart Challenger #2. And Hired Claw #2 as well. Oh no, okay, Glass Casket won't save us. Down to 10. Glass Casket, hey! What's up, buddy? Oh my goodness. Right, so well, I guess we're in trouble. I guess we're in significant danger here. Zenith blocks well. They got Rockface Village. Hopefully it's not Hired Claw number 3. Alright, guys. I think we're in danger either way. I think we're just going to get the Zenith down. I'd love to power up the Lumen-Class, but then we probably die. Zenith getting to a 3-5 is pretty good, though. I guess we're in danger either way, huh? We might as well go ahead and power it up. And if the opponent has it, they have it, right? It is what it is at that point. Screaming Nemesis. Actually, that's game, isn't it? Crap. No, it's 7. It's 7 getting through. We're alive. Now we just need some lifelink. Oh, man. It's mana. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Okay, let's go ahead and pick up the Nemesis, which is a really good pickup, isn't it? But either way, we die to the Hired Claw ability, so... Yeah, I'd say Sheltered by Ghost made the cut as an honorable mention for a pretty good reason. Sheltered by Ghost potentially could have helped us out here. Good game, opponent. Good game. Couple rough games in a row. I'm sticking to it, though. I have a lot of confidence in this list, guys. What about this time? 6 planes in the top 11? We are flooding a little bit, I think. You guys let me know in the comments, how far does it have to go before you count it as a flood? I'm usually very particular about floods, but I'm being very stubborn about the 24 mana in here too, so that's probably why. I just don't think we want 23. Maybe, okay, hold on. If we do 23, maybe we go up that warp creature I keep bringing up. Eventually I gotta remember the name for it too, but maybe 23 and then the 3rd warp creature, because that can actually grab more planes. Okay, wait. Here's the game where we show why having 24 is important, right? The opponent goes first, which is scary, especially after the last one. Oh, okay. That's fun. Don't see the ghoul very often. So because of Lumen-Class here, we want to get Survivor down and hope that it survives. It does trade into the ghoul, so it might be a great target for their early spot removal here. Okay, Sir Vondum. Whenever another creature you control dies or is put to exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Vondum, gain 1 life. I mean, we take the 2 for sure. Whenever this dies or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Very scary card, man. Very scary. Lumen can be a surprise. Double Warden is crazy, but also we could just go 1 Warden, get the Zack down, tap everything, take 4 damage next turn. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. Oh, submit 3. 3rd mana, we like it. We definitely like it here. See what the opponent has. Yeah, based on the ghoul, I was anticipating like mono black aggro, but then now it does appear to be Orzhov Sacrifice. Down to 14. I mean, Menace and Vigilance on that too. That's crazy, man. Yeah, when we read this on stream, yeah. That's a lot on a card for just 2 mana. All right. Sunstar and Warden could be pretty good, and then Lumen-Class could be a really nice surprise. We dump everything, right? Without the fear of... Well, we could have kept Zack open. We could have. Zack could still be a good chump block. I really don't want to chump block anything over there, though. But if we need to. Veteran Survivor. I guess any creatures we should keep on top, but a Glass Casket would be nice, huh? Okay, I'll send it. I'll send it. Yeah, some of our removal could be really nice here. No attacks. Because we don't know what that encampment is. Actually, yeah, never mind. No attacks. I don't want to lose the Warden before we can get it into the air, because now that it has Vigilance too from the Chaplain, which is... This is kind of cool, man. I like this. I like the Sunstar Chaplain. 4th mana from the opponent is going to be a Collar Zealot, Forsaken Miner, and they still have 1 card open. With Warden in the air, I mean, this should be terrific for us. And it should be easy enough to get the other Warden into the sky now, especially with the Chaplain on the board. Requisition Raid. Wow. For just 2 mana, we could keep Zack open and boost this board state. Tap down a creature. I apologize, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. I hope their last card in hand isn't like a Sephiroth or something for next turn. That would be devastating. Don't forget this Warden does have Vigilance too. You could always power up the Lumen-Class after the fact. Should probably save the Requisition, right? Number 1, the Lumen-Class itself can tap to the Warden abilities as well. So I don't want to swing with Chaplain as it grows our board state here. I want to get the other Warden into the sky when it comes time too. So we'll power it up here with the Sunstar, boosting everything. Yeah, we weren't going to attack with this, which is why we tap it. But we could potentially attack with the Survivor. Or we could get this to lifelink range. I suppose we could do after that Warden there. 2, 3. Give a boost there. Okay. Tough decisions. We're going to keep the Zack. We're going to just swing with this. We're keeping the Zack for their turn open. And the extra counters are going to go onto this Warden. 2, 3. I guess we'll tap this Warden then when it comes time. Yeah, kind of a complex board state scenario here, depending on what kind of removal they have in the deck list. Like if they find... Okay, they have Forsaken Miner. Servandum gets the extra +1 counter. With the Zealot on the board, the Servandum is going to be really easy to get to power 4 or greater. And this reads destroy up to 1, so keeping this Zack is going to be super important. Forsaken. Bondum's at 4/4. Go down to 12. They're up to 22 here, guys. And then they could Zealot the Servandum, but are they overlooking the Zack ability, or is it all a part of their plan to get rid of Zack now? So that way on their turn, they can actually remove this Warden more successfully. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All I know is Zack has been friggin' terrific for me in every deck list that I've played Zack in. We are going to... We're going to power up this Lumen-Class, man. It's really good. I guess if we planned on doing that, we should have done it before combat, so that way we could have gotten the Survivor's ability, right? But that's okay. Looks decent to me. Let's go ahead and put the counter onto the other Warden, so we can start getting that into the air too. Because the first Warden is in danger. Now, we get to see if that was their plan to play around Zack. If their plan was to get Zack off the board so that way on their turn they could use the removal, it's going to be a second Servandum and mana. So I think maybe they overlooked Zack. I can't really tell. So more mana isn't bad. We get Zack down before we do Requisition Raid for sure. And we do this for sure. Good game opponent. Yeah, good stuff. All right, 30 minutes in. Let's keep the ball rolling. One more. Win or lose, who cares, right? I think the deck list showcased itself really nicely here. And that was definitely a game where we wouldn't have minded seeing more mana, but we saw like the right amount of mana, and maybe that does mean that we want 23 in here. It's really hard to tell sometimes. It really is. Game, are you trying to tell me something, game? You know what? You know what? Bring it on. I'm keeping it. 4 mana in the opener is wild business. Here's what I know. We're not going to draw any land for the rest of the game. Right? Right, guys? Oh no. If it's control, I've been having some problems with control deck lists, so ooh, good draw. Getting that established over the Lumen-Class doesn't make too much sense. If we establish Lumen-Class, then on Zenith turn 3, we can tap the Zenith. This was a good draw. I love getting creatures on the board, but it doesn't make as much sense based on the hand. Okay, another temple. Probably good news for us because that means probably no counterspell. Only counterspell for 1 mana that I can think of is Spell Pierce, which obviously doesn't hit the Zenith. They do play a Ghost Vacuum for the turn. Okay, so they tap out. They give us the turn here. We take the turn to power up the Lumen. It's good. It's really good that it's already powered up. Now, on our turn 4, see, we really wanted 4 on 4, so double Chaplain. So far, the hand's working out. Go ahead, Surveil. Oh yeah, dude, we're up against control for sure. Now, the question is, are we going to run into a Sawblade? Perfect to pick up the Zenith, and they just go ahead and do it right here, right now. Instead of waiting for us to do some kind of more boosts or something, I suppose, since it only targets tapped creatures. So it does ruin our turn 4. Double Chaplain's not giving us nearly as much. But the question is it going to be a Star Cage, or is it going to be a Day of Judgment? And of course, Day of Judgment's going to be much worse for us, but we also don't have any of the Requisition Raids anyways. We do find more mana. At this point, guys, is it really worth just playing Zenith and waiting for the Chaplains? Probably, because at the very least we can power up the Lumen-Class. And a lot of 1-drops in here. If we had a 1-drop in hand, I guess we could have used the Zenith ability, which would have been really good. It's going to be United Battlefront. Oh, guys, this is a Pinnacle Star Cage deck list because it's a Synthesizer deck list. Well, crap. Okay. Clay Fired Bricks and Simulacrum Synthesizer. I suppose that could have been worse, but I can imagine Battlefront number 2's in hand, or they were missing all their synthesizers and that was their bid to find one, right? Oh yeah, dude, we're in danger. Without, well, like 2 Requisition Raids in here without any in hand, this is a problem. Now, the Chaplains will be 4 power. We will be able to power up the Lumen-Class next turn, which is good, but I'd like to get the +1 counters from the Zenith on the Lumen-Class too, but I don't think we'll be able to. Unless we do find... No, we won't be able to. So maybe we go wide. Zack is really good. And yeah, that would have been much better last turn, for sure. Against Pinnacle Star Cage, Zenith doesn't die, but everything else does. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. Right, so it's probably the Chaplains, and Zack's Indestructible does not help against the Exile. Yeah, I guess we could tap the Zenith to power up the Lumen, then play the Chaplain from hand, but then we won't get a swing from the Zenith. The Ghost Vacuum here is what's holding us up, which they'll probably not use, I suppose, right? Yeah, we could get the Zack down, leave the Zack open. It should probably just be the other Chaplain now, and then still swing with the Zenith, right? I think so. Against what we're up against, too, I guess we go wide, but the Star Cage is going to be brutal if they find it. So maybe extra damage wouldn't be terrible to you. Okay, extra damage. Star Cage doesn't pick up Zenith, so at least we're putting a counter there, and that might matter. Actually, we'll probably put all of our eggs into one basket, too. Okay. Chaplain's about to land. I'm pretty sure it's just the Ghost Vacuum from the opponent over there. Power up the Lumen-Class. Yeah, 2 Chaplains on the board. That's pretty sick. Now, I guess we keep Zack back, though. Swing for 7. Yeah, we've definitely showcased something with the deck list. It really depends what we're going to be up against once the meta settles, right? I do think that there's a strong possibility that the meta settles on the opposite side of this deck list, though, so that's a problem. Yep, all eggs into one Zenith basket because of Pinnacle Star Cage. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, right? Once the synthesizer dropped from the battlefront, we have to be very concerned. There's a chance we get lucky. They could miss. If they miss a board wipe, this is a board state and a half, dude. 5th mana from the opponent. I'm on the edge of my seat. What is it? What is it, opponent? Crazy board state, man. Perilous Snare. That's not a board wipe, but it takes the Zenith. No, they're going to take the Lumen-Class because they have a great blocker on the ground, and Zenith doesn't get above that blocker, especially now that it's a 7/7 and they take one of the Chaplains. No, it's 3 or less. It's a Glass Casket, guys. They can take the Zenith. This is equally as bad as a board wipe, huh? Yeah, with a great blocker, no ways to fly in. Again, Requisition Raid would be best case scenario. But how do we pull it off? At that point, too, since they missed the board wipe then... Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. I gotta sit up. Let's see. Yeah, leaning back the whole video, way too casual for this game. Warden is really good. If we dump everything and plug it all into Warden, maybe Warden can fly in for victory. However, we do have a swing for 6 this turn with the Chaplain ability. We can pay 2, remove the counter, swing for 6, bring them down to 9, try to win next turn. Just because they missed the board wipe last turn doesn't mean that they don't have it in hand. Maybe... Crap, guys. I'm having analysis paralysis because we have so many good options. Because Warden was such a good draw. It really was. We could still tap 3 for Warden. We could still get 3 through for the turn by removing the Chaplain's counter. And tap the other 3 for Warden. Actually, we can remove Zack's counter, right? Swing for 4 for the turn. I guess that works. We could also remove the counter off the Warden too, but we want the Warden counter because we want it in the air for next turn. Let's see the scry, and we get rid of any land that's on top. No. No. Bad. Bad planes. Okay. Okay, right, so we want to target the construct, remove the counter from Zack, probably, I guess. I'm double checking what they got over there. Again, it's just the Ghost Vacuum open here. The opponent is out of timers. They might have forgotten that they have Ghost Vacuum. Oh no, there they go. They are clicking through it sometimes. Now, what do you guys think? You guys think they can get this one construct above 23? Or do you guys think they have some surprise in there that can give haste to a bunch of constructs? Okay, Zack is open. Let's see if they find the board wipe this turn, because that's what I was concerned about last turn, but doubling down on removal on our key pieces was still equally as good for the opponent. So doubling down on removal this turn could be, again, equally as good. Another Perilous Snare, giving them a second construct, for example. Yeah. Glass Casket would be great off the top to make sure we can pick up one construct. Then we can tap down the second construct with the Chaplain's ability. Actually, we could just remove a bunch of counters, but I'm afraid of putting it all into one basket, but we probably should. We should get Warden in the sky. We don't know what's on top. We should get Warden in the sky this turn and not worry about tapping next turn. That also takes a little bit of pressure off the Chaplains. If they do find more spot removal, they're going to want to hit our 1-mana Warden. Taking pressure off the Chaplains could be essential. So that way we can slip the excess damage through. Either way, guys, we're in serious danger, but the deck list is really showing something, I'd say. Number one, like the Chaplain, I think we could play with more of these. I think I only have 3 right now. But depending on how many other +1/+1 counter decks that I put together that runs white, I might craft the 4th. I might. We'll see. We'll see. It depends. Braided Net is really good for them. Really, really good. Yep, it totally counts as removal here. It might as well have just been a Perilous Snare, because now they'll be able to tap down the Warden successfully. They still got 3 mana, guys. I mean... They're going to keep 2 blockers back. They're not going to swing quite yet. Right. Lumen-Class. Now, on the stack, they probably tap down the Warden. We do have... Since they're going to tap down the Warden, we can still use the Warden's counters here, probably, right? So on the stack, they want to tap down Warden, right? For sure. On the board state right now. So they're going to do that. Yep, it makes sense to me. Yeah, they don't want us to be able to power it up. If they want us to power it up, then, well, we could still use the Sunstar Chaplain, huh? I suppose we do that. We don't have enough to tap both of their creatures. With 18 on the board, 2 more artifacts could be game. No, 2 more artifacts is only 22. But the odds of them getting another construct would probably be game. I apologize, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. And I hope I'm playing this out well enough for everybody as well. By playing Lumen-Class, we can no longer tap down both constructs. Maybe I shouldn't have played this. Maybe we should have just focused damage. I'm going to keep Zack as a potential blocker because I do think we are risking death next turn if we're not safe here. Okay. And Chaplain's not getting through. Chaplain's ability is pretty expensive in the long run, but yeah, I do like it so far. Yeah, if I didn't play Lumen-Class... We could have tapped down both by getting rid of 2 counters off the Warden. Also, 3 mana open, we don't know what they have. They could have like another spring-loaded Saw Blades. It was actually pretty bad for us. No attacks. We want extra counters on the Zack. You know what? I don't plan on blocking with the Sunstar Chaplain. I'm going to plug it into the Lumen-Class Frigate here. Just keep the Zack open, and then our extra counters are going to go onto the Zack for when we can use the ability. Then we'll distribute those counters elsewhere, right? That makes sense to me. It gets us one step closer to powering the Lumen-Class Frigate, which also flies in the air too. Oh, United Battlefront. Oh no. I wonder if that was the draw, guys. Oh no. It's like I said, we could seriously die here if we didn't keep a blocker back. And United Battlefront solidifies that, I would say. Let's hope they miss a little bit. What did they hit? Earless Snare and a synthesizer. Oh, bro. Oh no, they got 28 on the board. Our only hope is flying in somehow, and they take the one other thing that can actually help us fly in too. Oh buddy, dude, these synthesizer builds might be a problem. For real. Not too much has changed with them after rotation. The worst thing is the new Pinnacle Star Cage. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I brought up that card way too much today. But for the deck list that I really like playing, these like creature deck lists that, well, obviously care about having these small little creatures on the board, right? I mean, Temporary Lockdown was always just a huge menace for me. But now that it works with Synthesizer, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, hey, they can use Braided Net on their turn. Yeah, good game, opponent. I wonder if they just realized that too. Hey, good game, good game. Oh wait, we can use Chaplain on their turn. Guys! Oh, it doesn't really matter. We were out of that game. Guys, yeah, with only Warden in the air, they're still at 11. Even if we could tap down, even if we find the 6th mana. Oh, wait. 2 mana. Guys! Okay, hold on. Right. Did I mess up here? We could have used Chaplain's ability the last 2 mana, tap down a construct. No, then they wouldn't have swung with the other one because they needed the 4 open, right? Because on our turn, we could have removed all the counters. Let's see, we remove 1 from Chaplain, it's a 4/3. Okay, then on our turn, we'd have to remove all 3 from the Warden to tap down the last 3 constructs, even if they did swing with the extra construct to hit us for 14, right? So we would have only had 9 on the board, and we would have spent 6 mana if we saw planes off the top to tap down all these. The other scenario would have been tap on that turn, keep the Warden in the air, and they're still at 11 though, so okay. I think we were fine. And if we would have tapped, yeah, we could have survived 1 extra turn. I missed that completely. Neat. This deck list is neat. I think we're in danger though. Put it on the do not craft list, man. This one really, really cares about where the meta's gonna settle. And because in the early days there, we were seeing so much Orzhov Sacrifice and Mono Black Aggro / Sacrifice 2, we are now seeing a huge uptick in the amount of control deck lists. And in my test games too, control deck lists, right? So I don't know, man. Deck lists like this in general are probably in danger. Few things. Requisition Raid. I'm sticking to it. Criminally underplayed. Keep your eye on this one. Veteran Survivor was great. Warden's great. Yeah, I like all 4 Warden. I know sometimes people say 4 Wardens is way too many, and that might be true. Like if we went down to 2, we could go up that 3rd Starfield Shepherd, which I do think would be pretty good in here. Now, all 4 Zeniths completely unnecessary. Just the 2 actually felt pretty good. I don't have any more. Those matches convinced me. I'm not crafting them. Something I might craft though, because I have a third chaplain, I might end up crafting the fourth chaplain depending on what kind of +1/+1 counter deck list I want to put together. I know that I want to visit Selesnya +1/+1 counters for sure. I know that that deck list will also have Zack, and there's so many great green cards to also plug in too. So at that point, maybe Chaplain wouldn't even make the cut. I do think it's pretty nice though. Something important with that too is it really cares about having our creatures tapped, which it makes sense for this deck list since we have Station and Warden, and we also have the Windswept Bastion here too. I'm sticking to the 24 mana, guys. More testing required for sure. Let's go ahead and do some rearranging to see what the rarities look like in here. I think that it's pretty expensive on the rares. Not too bad, actually. As far as mythics go, very cheap. I don't even know if I'm convinced that Zenith... I know that Bastion you probably don't need this. There's more than enough things in here to go ahead and tap your creatures down. But then also, there's not too many artifacts and stuff to actually hit with this. In that last game, we could have drawn a little better, huh? I think we still would have been in a lot of danger. If they missed the braided net, then I think it would have been leaning towards us. But if they missed the braiding net, then they could have still found like another perilous snare or something. That last game was a pretty good one, though. Showcasing a lot of different strategies in the deck list. Anyways, Windswept Bastion is so hard for me to say. Is unnecessary. You don't have to craft this, just go up another planes. Wait a minute, guys. Oh, okay, Fountainport. Okay. I was like, hold your horses. Do we only have 23 mana in here? I was about to confirm that we did flood today a lot, but no, the Fountainport. But also, you know, if it wasn't utility land, then I probably would just have 23 planes. But they're utility land, which also cares about having extra land on the board when it comes time too. So, I don't know. That's a tough decision, man. I always say more testing required for a very good reason, for real. Anyways, put everything on the do not craft list for the first couple weeks of every given set. No one knows where the meta is going to settle, and you never know if it's just going to be an incredibly hostile meta versus the deck list that you spent all of your precious wildcards on. And I do think that this deck list is in danger, okay? So, yeah, definitely don't craft it, because I think that the meta could easily settle against this deck list and this style of deck list, which of course will break my heart because I love this style so much. Just cheap early creatures, they all get boosts as the game goes on, but then they all get obliterated by board wipes and whatnot. So, and that's you really want board wipes versus those sacrifice deck lists, especially exile board wipes. Don't make me say it, guys. Don't make me say it. Okay, Pinnacle Starcage. Yeah, dude, we're going to have a problem, especially in those synthesizer builds. Yeah. Yeah, that synthesizer build's going to be crazy business. All right. Well, back to this deck list for a second. Reluctant Role Model was pretty neat today, but also it's a relatively slow card, and I wouldn't mind just having another card that helps us go wide, too. There's actually a new one. It doesn't have flash-like reinforcements. I think it even has like, well, here's what I'll type in. I'll type in token to try to find it. And that did not help at all. Edge of Eternities. Is this it? Yeah, 2 mana 1/1 enters with a 1/1 human soldier creature token. It has a bottom ability too, where you can pay 6, sack it, search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. We don't have equipments in here, but that doesn't mean you can't slot a couple equipments in for funsies. Also, you're probably not looking at this for the bottom ability at all. You're probably just looking at it to help you go wide further. Are there any other 2 mana cards that do something similar to reinforcements in this Honored Knight? Because if not, then I guess Honored Knight could be something you could consider for the deck list for sure. Yeah, Glass Casket kind of hid in the deck list today. There were plenty of matches where it would have been terrific against, so all 4 of them for a very, very good reason. And I love that you can tap it to the Warden too, and Warden's just so excellent, man, in the right build. I think Unidentified Hovership could probably be dropped to 1 if we wanted the 3rd Requisition Raid. Remember, Requisition Raid against that last game, if Synthesizer does end up being a problem, don't be afraid of the 3rd Requisition Raid at all, right? Anyways, guys, back to the whole crafting nonsense. If you already have all the cards, give it a shot. Get back to me. Let me know. Did you have a little bit more luck with the deck list than I had? If you're really, really desperate and you just love the deck list so much, then base it on your collection a little bit. Again, you probably don't need the Zenith. You could trade this out for something that you already have in your collection that you think would work well. Hopefully something that helps you go wide or something. I can't think of anything right now though. And then the Bastion, completely unnecessary too. If you drop the Bastion, you probably don't need the Fountainport either. You could have the 23 mana then and maybe go up that third Starfield Shepherd too. So, and Reluctant Role Model, it's good. I like it a lot, and I love how it fits with the whole +1/+1 counter theme, but it's another rare in here, so you could easily do some trading out based on your collection, and I gave that budget option with the Honored Knight Captain just helping us continue to go wide too, so. And there might be something that I'm missing as well, but like, yeah, 2 mana, 2 creatures. I don't know. For mono white, of course, right? That's also an important part of this deck list. It is mono white, in fact. Zack is also another incredibly underplayed card, in my opinion, guys. I don't think I ever see any opponents playing with this. Let me know, have you been playing with Zack? Have you been having an equal amount of success with Zack as well? Yeah. All right. I would have loved to see the Starfield Shepherd today. More, like a third one, I think would be really good in here. That's another thing. You could drop that Hovership down to 1, go up that Shepherd. Yeah. Okay. Enough rambling, guys. We're almost an hour in, somehow. I have no idea how, but we are. If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.